Testing, testing. Good evening, everybody. I finally got a new microphone. So this is the debut of my microphone. So let me know if there's any problem with the audio or things like that. Okay, so today basically is currently as usual, I'm just using this to make my to allow me to do my things without any disturbance, or sorry, any distractions. Okay, so right now I'm actually going to convert the Temari, her Boruto era outfit, uh, because I have a commission for this picture, and at the same time also need to convert this over sooner or later, so I might as well do it now lah. Okay, so right now I'm downloading all the required files. Okay, so yeah, my work in progress folder is all over the place. Makes it a little bit hard to find things sometimes. Okay, so okay, so now I'll just throw them into Blender. Okay, so since the last time I actually added this plugin, so now you can see what I'm pressing again. Okay, so let me import the forgot it again. Okay, so okay, so now we have the body. So I'm just going to put them into a collection, clothing. I don't need this skeleton. So rotate 90x small. Okay, just to check the size. Okay, so something like that. So I'll just throw all this into this connection, so that I can just with one click on and off this thing. Okay, so next is the face and the hair. So part 3. Not sure why the bones are not aligned properly. So I already put maybe with this. Okay, so I'm not sure which setting exactly is the one that affected it, but yeah, this is the one that you want instead of it sticking straight out, right? Okay, so I don't actually need the body, so I just delete away the body. And the bones, I do not need the lower body bones as well, so I'm going to delete those. So I'm just left with this part here, which is basically what we want, the neck and the head and all the other finny parts. Okay, so this is the head. I think in this case it doesn't really matter for the hair because you won't actually be moving anything also. There is no bones on the hair part, so I'll just throw everything in as well. Okay, so in this case I think it will actually go quite fast. Because there isn't really much to alter or edit. Most of the things are quite straightforward here. Okay, so first is to fit the head over to the body. Okay, and how you do that is you see the join line here. So this one I have to move back a little bit until you hit somewhere here. So you can see that there's the curve down here and it actually fits into the neck. Then the other part is the back of the hair. You see roughly around here. Then just go in and push up all the remaining bits. Perhaps I should get a new mouse as well already. Seems like it sometimes even though I just press the button and didn't let go, but it sometimes skip and jump a little bit. So it makes me double click or triple click sometimes, even though I did not press the mouse button that many times. Yeah, in fact I'm holding the mouse button down, but yeah, maybe I should get a new mouse as well. Okay, so after we fit Temari's hair more or less to the face, okay, so roughly like that. So you can see the hair is about fitted to the head, and that's about done for the head part. Okay, so this is the hair. Keep everything. is the eyes. And I will need to also separate out the teeth, the tongue, and the top. And a sign. This is mouth. Okay, so that is basically the face done and the hair done. I will do the bones for her ponytail and all that inside Dust Studio. It's easier, or rather I know how to do it faster than messing around with Blender, because I'm still not very actually I have no idea how to use Blender's, the what do you call it, their weight mapping tools yet. So yeah, actually no, never mind. I think there's enough geometry, right? There's enough polygons to support this thing. So yeah, so I'll just leave this alone. Because normally, like if you see some of the other hair, like Ino's hair, right, has a pretty low poly, and because it's a ponytail, so I need to add in more geometry inside so that they will be able to deform properly. But in this case, I think it's fine now. Okay, so there's the head done, so now is the clothing. So the hands can be removed. The one thing I like about Shinobi Strikers clothing, right, is that they are quite dense actually in terms of their geometry. So you don't actually need a lot of meddling, or rather you don't need to do a lot of things to it to increase the poly counts or anything. You can basically just use them as it is. Yeah. Though in some case, like in this particular case, I think it might be too much, because you don't actually need the inner part of the kimono. Technically it will look nicer, but what I'm worried about is that when you're doing the weight mapping, right, because of there's an inner part and the outer part, they might not jive very properly when you're trying to bend it around. Actually, I'll just leave this alone for the time being. I think this is the collarbone. Okay, so I'll just open this part so that the arms have a place to go. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same to this side as well. Okay, so something like that. That's the top part. And the skirt. Okay, so I'm just basically what I'm doing here, right, is to use the UV sync selection so that whatever I select in the UV part, right, it will actually be selected as well inside here on the main part. So I'm selecting all the skin color tones, right, and deleting them because I don't need them. And then you have to get rid of all this as well. Okay, so what we have left, right, is basically just the skirt, and I'm also going to take out this pants thingy. So I'll just remove this. Okay, so separate the two. So this is the pants or shorts, and next is the skirt. Though technically it's the bottom part of the kimono, but since they split up into two, by right this is actually one whole piece, but what the heck, just leave it there. Okay, so next is the feet. And then I'm going to get rid of half of this because I will be using the mirror tool later in order to mirror these things. Okay, then next is to get rid of the toenails. And yep, so that's it for the clothing. Okay, so normally what I do in the first place, right, is to basically turn this whole thing into quartz first. Usually that's what I do, though sometimes I find it's actually not necessary. Because in the end, sometimes I find that, for example, the time that it takes to fix all these little errors here and there from changing into quartz, right, it actually takes up more time than if you actually just use the triangle. So depending on the job itself, sometimes it's not a good idea to actually do that. Only if you need to do some heavy editing, then probably you want to do that. Yeah, so even though I prefer to use quartz, but sometimes it's just not necessary. Like in this particular case, when the mesh is already quite dense in terms of the poly counts, right, there's actually quite a lot of polygons in this thing already, so I don't think there's the need for me to do much editing, so I will just fit this directly. So with this, right, sometimes I find that, you know, previously, like for example, when I'm doing the Kyrie's conversion, I think I took far too much time because I actually converted to quartz and then spent a lot of time cleaning up the things, then I start to do the editing. But in the end, I find that, you know, it doesn't it's not actually necessary. Yeah, so in the end, sometimes, you know, you just leave it like that and just do the editing from here directly. So only if, say for example, if I'm doing like mobile game style and the polygons is actually quite little, then probably we'll need to do more heavy editing. Then yeah, I'll need to change it to quad first. But in this case, yeah, it's a departure from what I said last time, because even though I don't like to use triangles because of the limitations in editing, but in this case, since I don't really need to do much editing, it's fine now. Yeah, more or less shouldn't be an issue, because there's really nothing much to edit. I just need to move these things in here and there. And then just a little bit of editing here and there will do. So yeah, I won't be saying much this video. See, no comments. So like just when I'm doing the Eno conversion earlier, before my mic arrives, yeah, so basically I just didn't convert the thing to quads and just edit it directly, and I find that my speed is much faster. You know, normally I will require something like 4 hours, and I've completed Enos. If I didn't procrastinate, right, I would have completed it in something like 2 hours and a half maybe. Yeah, and I'm expecting this one to go roughly the same speed. Assuming my mouse can hold out. Not sure what's wrong with my mouse. Okay, so yeah, so that's done. So now I just need to remove this, not required, and mirror it, and my shoes are done. Right, so it's much faster this way. Now you learn as you go along. So let me export this. Naruto. Okay, so Temari adult and Temari shoes. Okay, next is the shorts. This one should also be quite fast because it's fairly low poly, or I will first subdivide. Now actually this is a case where you would actually want to make it into quads. Okay, and then I will also remove the sharp. So this is what I'm left with. Okay, and double. Okay, then next is to shrink wrap it over the Genesis 8 sorry, Genesis 8 female. Okay. And outside. Maybe I should apply this first so that I have more polygons to work with. Okay, so maybe I should stick this to the surface instead. 0.001. I went too far just now. I didn't even notice that just now, so sorry about that. Okay, so nothing really much to say about here. You just need to fit this thing over properly. So yeah. Yeah, I think I really need to get a new mouse as well already. This is getting quite irritating because you notice that when I just click on I'm holding my mouse and I'm not letting it up at all, but the amount of clicks is still increasing. So no wonder how come every single time, sometimes I will get a misclick occasionally here and there, almost all the time. It's fairly irritating. Okay, so roughly something like that. But then this, no. Relax. Okay, so now I just need to do a little bit of cleaning up here. Hey, something like that. Okay, so that's the shots done. Okay, shoes and shorts are done. So next is the skirt. Okay, so something like that. And after saying that I want to replace my mouse, right? Now my mouse is actually behaving. So random threads, sometimes works wonders. Okay, so since it's behaving, I can actually move a little bit better. No comments. Then again, I don't think anybody is watching this thing. It's a pretty weird timing after all. Currently it's 7 o'clock on my side, so on the US side should be around 7, 8 in the morning, and I don't think anybody is that active at this period of time. So what the heck, it's fine with me, honestly. And I just said that it's behaving well. Done it. Okay, so something like that for the skirt. Okay, and you can actually see the effects of the sharp. If you look at it down here, there's this edge down here. It's actually it's not a polygon issue. It's basically just a sharp. So if I clear it, it's gone. Yeah. Okay, so that's the skirt done, and the top. This, this speed reminds me of when I first started not too long. At that point of time, I'm actually doing like one model to two models in 1 or 2 hours time, and one picture or two pictures in the same period of time, minusing the render time. So yeah, it's kind of nostalgic. It's been a while since I can work this fast. Because normally I will want to clean up a lot of things, move these things around here and there, do a lot of things. That now that I think about it, actually it's not strictly necessary. Yeah, so perhaps I should focus more towards efficiency instead, moving as fast as I can, train how to do as fast as I can, so that I won't have such a huge backlog of commissions. Because sometimes when I look at my commission list, it's also quite scary to me. Right now, I think I have something like 10 over. I have 4 picture commission by from the Etheridge prints, and a few more in converting commissions. So yeah, actually it's quite scary. It's a good thing I don't actually need to go for a day job anymore already, else I don't think I have enough time to do anything. Right. Okay, so something like that. Uh, uh, More or less, because the reason why I can work so fast the last time, right, is because that time I don't know a lot of things, so I'm more or less just brute forcing my way through all kinds of content. So now I know more. So the problem when you know more how to do things right, basically is that you tend to, even though it's not required, but you just want to do it anyway because you know how to do it now. It's a new skill that you picked up or something, and you just want to do it. So I found myself in that trap quite often now that I think back about it. Doing things that's not strictly necessary. Like in this particular case, I do not need to turn the model into quartz in order to work with it. But I will absolutely do that if once in a while I want to do it. When I learn how to turn to quartz, I basically every model after that is I'll change it to quartz first before I do anything. Yeah, but now I realize it's actually not necessary sometimes. Okay, So something like that. And I'm done. So export Temari top. Did I export the skirt? I can't remember. No, I didn't. So skirt export. Okay, so that's the clothing done, and now for the head. I don't actually need to do anything much. I just need to close this. Delete. Delete. Maybe I should just put into another collection. Hair and hair. Okay, so this is just the face. So select the aperture and go to the MMD and convert. Sorry, select aperture and convert. Okay, so that's that. Let me check the bones. Okay, so I will just remove the name of this part. Copy and remove. Okay, so just leave it like that. Okay, so that's the head done. So export as a PMX. Temari head. And also OBJ, because the MMD files, they split as I mentioned in one of my previous video, right? The MMD file actually splits according to the UV. So if say for example, right, if you look at the UV for the face, you see a lot of pieces down here all over the place. So once you export it out in MMD format, right, all these pieces will all be separated and it will look pretty horrible. So because of this, you need to export a OBJ file as well for the head. Okay, and we'll do the conversion over later. Yep, I forgot about this. It's quite troublesome. So let's see if I can get it back. Okay. So I export this as an OBJ. I actually forgot about the face part. Okay, so I'm done with Blender. So now I'll open up the Dust Studio to throw these things in. Okay, so currently this is the preset that I created, removing all the head parts, right, like the eyes, the teeth and all that. Remove them all. Or not say remove, I actually put them to transparent. So with this, right, I can actually do a head swap without having to repeat the steps every single time I load this Dust Studio files. Sorry about that. Okay. My mic is still working, right? I got a phobia since the last time my mic broke, so okay, so now I have the body down here. Let me import in the Temari adult and the head. Okay, I made a mistake. Maybe I should do it this way. Oh, I'm not sure whether it's actually oh, okay. That's embarrassing. I forgot I actually control Z all the way until it's no longer MMD model. Okay, so this is the scale. Just now I forgot to do the scale. So if it's a scale 1, right, it's actually extremely small. So you can see it's actually somewhere here. Extremely small, right? So you need to size it up to 11.76 times. Actually, the actual figure is much bigger. As in, there's a lot of numbers behind the decimal, but we'll just truncate it here. Okay, so import the head, and this time it's the actual file. So if you notice, right, I'm not sure if you can see this. Let me see if I can. Spectacles 0, ambience color somewhat brown. Okay, so you notice down here it's actually split up into a lot of different segments. You can see the eyes down here and here and here. Okay, so this is the reason why, right, we need to have another copy, which is the head, so that you can transfer the rigging over to the OBJ, which does not have all these gaps. So I have no idea why MMD wants to do it that way, but that's the default exporter, and I really have no way. I even went to the exporter, the programmer for the exporter, and asked them, and they say that this is the default MMD behavior, of which I cannot change it. So no choice, we have to do it the long way, or the more troublesome way. Okay, so with this, right, I recently found out that you can click this and this two together, right, and it will actually be a little bit more accurate in terms of the rendering. Sorry, the rigging. Okay, so test. Looks okay. Maybe I just smooth it out a little bit. Huh. Did I control Z all the way out of it? Okay, so let me repeat the search process again. Hit obj. Right. That means the MMD will have to update as well. Okay, so no problem here. Okay, so align all bones. So just to make sure everything is all properly, then memorize this. Okay, so to basically lock all the bones in place inside the file itself, so that in the future, or if you need to transfer the rigging anywhere, you won't have so much problem. Okay, next right is to select all children, and then in the parameters, get rid of the hidden, because otherwise, right, if you don't do this, you will not be able to move it up or down. Okay, so with this, say for example you select this, you can actually move it up or down now. Previously, if you don't have it, right, you can't do that because it's hidden. Okay, so next is the textures. So Temari allow textures. So this is the first one. Temari main. I know a lot of games like to use .tga file format, but honestly I don't like it because you can't really preview it. So for that reason I don't really like it. So I think this is the one. Uh, Okay, so now you come back here and bam. I'll need the eyes as well. Oh yeah, I forgot. I keep forgetting. Okay, the head. Okay, so what I'm doing now, right, is actually to put in the eye shine, uh, which is actually something that the one of the in the Discord channel, I can't remember what's the guy's name. Just a moment. Flaming Hawk. So I think it's the one that talks about when I did the Sarada model. So it's the one that basically talk about the eye shine. Without it, the eyes looks lifeless. Okay, so I can do that now. So basically, I just need to edit the just put in this one and assign. Okay. And the head. Okay, so so if you don't do this part, then what happens if you try to when you try to edit one of these things, right? Is that the entire head will move. So because of this, I'm not sure how come now can already. Oh, actually, I think it doesn't matter for this particular model. But I'll just go ahead and remove all the hidden anyway. Some models they will actually lock the XYZ as well. So you need to unlock that also. So in order to be able to move things around, like move things around. Okay, so this is the Einstein textures. It's actually taken from M Vegeta's one of their latest model. In this particular case, is the Haruno Mibuki, which is Sakura's mother's model. So that's the model that is where I got this texture from. So there. So now you got eye shine, and the eye shine can be moved around. Depending on what you actually require. So because I learned how to do this right, I did not bother with the changing the eyes into the ball mesh, the eyeball mesh that M Vegeta's model used. Because last time previously I had to do that because I didn't know about this particular trick. Okay, so now that I know this trick right, it's actually not required anymore. So basically you just come down here, you go to the offset, and you can move the eyes just like that. So you don't need to have the eyeball and move the bone here and there. You just offset it from here, and you can make the eyes look anywhere you want. So it's much easier compared to the method that we were doing. I was using the previous time, right? So yeah. So that is Temari's head completed. And the hair. Okay, so I convert it into a figure, general weight mapping, and head. Okay, so what happens right is that this will actually provide a starter bone, so to speak, and allows you to do things from here. So I need to put bones into the 4 ponytail as well as the 2 hair fringes here. Right. So first is to create a bone. Hair left. So this will be the left side fringe. Auto align. So the hairline is roughly around here. So you want to make sure the mesh doesn't fall above that, because otherwise you'll be able to see into the head, which is empty. Yeah, so you don't want to do that. Okay, so that is the left hair done. Myself wait back bit first. Okay, so something like that. So that when you move the hair, okay, so something like that. Okay, so that's the left hair side done. For the left hair part, I think I will need 3 bones. No. So, seeing the rigging down here, right, is probably a bad idea to fold it up that far. So, if you are doing posing, right, you might not want to move it so far out. But you can do that if you want to. Is the bones are there. Okay, so that's the fringes done. Now for the ponytail. Though I'm not sure if they are necessary. Actually, I don't think they're necessary because I don't think they'll ever move. But I'll just put it there, just in case you somehow you want it to move or some sort. Okay, so I'm done with Temari's head and hair. And now I need to change the body texture. So first thing first, is to put in the opacity file, make it transparent basically. Okay, so next is the rest of the body. Okay, so Temari, that's Temari. Okay, so now to import the rest of her clothing. Okay, so the final part is to put in the transfer the rigging from Genesis 8 over to the clothing. And repeat for every part of the clothing. Oh, not bad. 1.5 hours completed, almost completed Temari. Okay, it seems that everything is working properly. Okay, so next is to save the wearable preset. Oh wow, what happens here? Oh, I forgot to resize it. So sorry. Should be about this big. Eh? Oh, Blender crashed. Okay, don't tell me It's not. There is no autosave for this. Darn it! Really no autosave. This sucks. So my entire Temari. The good thing I actually exported everything already, but everything else is gone. That's the first time it happens this badly. So this is one of the rare times, right, that you want to lock other rotation. Because this is a fan, it doesn't make sense for you for any other rotation to exist basically. Okay, and need to lock this. And yeah. Okay, so that's basically it. I'm done with the Temari potting, and it took me 1 hour and 45 minutes. So not bad. It's much faster than previously. Okay, so now is to do a promo picture for this. Just need to look for a proper pose similar. Okay, so still need a little bit of touch up to do. Okay, so save the asset again. So every time you do an edit, you have to resave these two parts, which is the actual body itself, the actual item that you're changing, as well as the wearable. Otherwise, yeah, things will get quite haywire. Okay, so what I'm doing here is actually get rid of for the picture the DAF file. Okay, so these are all the preview pictures. So what happens is that if this is around, whenever you save the post again, it will actually overwrite. So if you have this, you remove the .duf, then what happens is that even if you save another post, right, it will actually save a different copy under the duf. Then you can decide whether you want to keep the new copy or you prefer the old one. Yeah. So you notice if I did remove the .duf, right, they will actually replace the pictures, right? So since I actually rename all this to remove the .duf already, so it will actually create a new picture instead. So you can decide if you want to keep this picture or you want to keep the old picture. In this case, I want to keep the old picture, so I'll just delete away the new pictures and it will disappear. So almost done, almost done. All I need now is the interior. For some reason I like this background quite a lot, so I use this a lot. Okay, so basically all I need to do now, the only remaining thing is to package the deal and to render the promo. So with this, I end this stream since I'm done with this part. So yeah, so for those people who managed to stick around for the whole 2 hours, thank you very much. Hope you enjoy this. So goodbye.